Hi guys, I'm Chris, this is Rebecca, and welcome back to Nail on Sunday.
All the tea getting spilled. Nail text talking again, keeping it real, y'all gon' feel. From the signs to the drama, every secret they reveal. Stay sharp, stay tuned, man, you know it's the deal.
I was going to say that thing that I can't say.
What?
Oh, well, I can't say it, so
I don't even know what that would be.
doesn't even matter. Can't say that thing. Hi, Rebecca.
So I'm just thinking about the people on YouTube. They're going to watch a really awkward intro where we're sort of sitting like that, or are you just going to like speed it up?
I mean, you can't really speed up music.
Right, so we're just going like this.
Yeah.
That's just weird. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well, if you did like it, now's a great time to like and subscribe to Nail on Sunday podcast. It's good to have you all back with us. We are back and fighting fit. Much better than last week. Last week, I was a ghost of myself.
I think you still are.
Oh.
Grumpy today.
No, I'm not grumpy today.
Yeah.
I have a short temper today.
It's the same thing.
No, absolutely different.
Okay, sure. Sure.
Anyway, hi, darling. What have you been up to this week?
Work. I'm on day...
You've got to... If you say work, people are like, oh, she's just working. Yeah.
I am on day 16 of 20 days in a row of being in a physical work premises.
Okay, but it's December, and that's anticipated. That's normal, right?
Well, no, not... Well, only because I'm still doing eyebrows. Oh, I've only got 3 more days. I'm so excited.
If you didn't hear that and you need subtitles, that was she has 3 more days.
I'm doing eyebrows. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. The next time I record a podcast, I will never have to do eyebrows ever again.
So you think.
No.
What if nail art is cancelled? You need to go back to doing
I'll
brows?
sell pictures of my feet quite happily. Oh. They're not very nice. I won't get much money, but it's fine.
It's not going to keep us in the millions that we used to love.
Oh yeah, millions and millions of buttons. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's great to have everyone back. I feel recharged. I feel like the momentum of
What's recharged you?
What's recharged me? Well, that bit of cake that I had downstairs. Somebody called Kate sent us some cake. And that was a lot of cake.
She did send us. It was lovely.
And
Very
for
kind.
someone to do that, just to express the fact that they were just happy with stuff that we'd done, it's just wild.
It was so kind.
The bloody staff can't even do that. They can't even pay for the tuck shop that we have next door.
This honesty shop is not so honest.
Yeah, I took £20 out, the actual honesty thing.
Yeah, but have people been putting it into your special little QR thing that you have?
No.
But people go to the tuck shop every day.
Yeah, that's the thing. Imagine 18 staff going to the tuck shop every day and taking, say, noodles and stuff like that at £1 a pop or whatever. Yeah, and I take £20 out in the space of 2 weeks.
Well,
that's math that even Laura could do. Is not right. Okay. Anyway, in this week's show, I should have done this right at the very start. In this week's show, it's going to be a 2-parter. We're going to start off with how nail techs can maximise their earnings.
yes, and then we're going to do part 2 next week, which is going to be
How you can save and how you can
save money in your business.
Yeah, and the reason we're going to do this is Rebecca and I, you guys probably know, we had a salon for 10, 12-ish years. We've had businesses for the last 18 years. So we think that we have maybe a raft of knowledge that we could pass on to you guys. And even if it's not 100% accurate in terms of it's not going to work for you, it might spark an idea, something we call it nail order spark boom. It might spark an idea for you to think about how you can either maximise or, do something different from what you're doing currently, or moreover, how you can save some cash. And the reason we're doing this is you guys are going to be listening to this over the festive period, I think, because you're going to be working right now, and come the end of, I don't know, say the 26th of December or something, you're going to be sitting at home in some oversized hoodies and big thick socks, a bit of a hangover, a bit of a turkey hangover maybe, just lying on the sofa and just thinking to yourself, how can I change my 2025? And maybe listening to this podcast might just change the perspective of your 2025.
Yeah.
How you start the year. Rebecca and I always like to start a new year with something new. That tends to be going on holiday, and we like to go on holiday because if we're out of the business, away from the business, that tends to recharge us a little bit, and it gives us so much scope for being able to come into the business new and fresh for the year, having new ideas. However, Cock Blocker Daki has decided to have a hip replacement, so we ain't going no place. So we're going to be with you on January 1st.
What do you mean January 1st?
January 1st. We're going to do a live. I've decided.
A live what?
Live YouTube, live. What do you call it? What's that thing Facebook bought years
Instagram?
ago? Instagram. That's
Doing
it.
what? Talking about what?
Talking about all the new stuff that we've got going on for
Wait,
2025.
right, Chris keeps telling people in the shop, right? I overheard him saying the other day, yeah, loads of new stuff coming on the 2nd January. We don't have a single new item coming on the 2nd of
Let's say
January.
item.
Right, we have nothing coming.
Oh, we do.
Well, of course we have things planned, but we don't have any dates. Nothing's really moving.
Right, but the fact that I put it into the ether, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to have new stuff launching January 1st or January 2nd.
No, we're not. No. Definitely no.
Don't argue with me.
Okay.
I am grumpy today.
I know.
Oh, okay, you're so pretty. Did you wash your hair specifically for the podcast?
I washed my hair because I got to get up early the next 3 days.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't be bothered to get up even earlier.
You do look beautiful today.
Thanks, Chris.
I don't know if it's your eyes, the less grease in your hair. I'm not. The fact that it is -3 outside,
It's so
-3.
cold.
Jesus. Like in the warehouse, I currently, like, not in the packing warehouse, in the cold warehouse, which I don't has no heat. I'm currently in gloves, being able to just search for nail files.
It's very cold.
It's very cold, man. And my forklift lasts now 3.5 minutes
Because
because
of the
it's so cold. It's ridiculous. What happened to your car last night?
Icicles?
I went to plug in Rebecca's car last night, and somebody didn't put, the little rubber cap.
Oh, on the electric car charger, it froze.
The little car charging thing. Somebody didn't put the rubber cap on properly, so there was a little well of water that froze. So I went to plug Rebecca's car in,
It was just a big block of ice.
Yep, it was just an ice cube. So yeah.
Yep.
Everyone who's sitting at home just now thinking, I told you shouldn't have got an electric car. Wouldn't happen with my diesel. Yeah, well, diesel stinks. Trust me, my van's like, oh, Rebecca said I get a new van, but I know she's just teasing me. Well,
No, I said you can get a new van.
why?
Because.
But there's got to be a reason.
Well, I was just dreaming of having like one that's like nailed the logo and stuff on it.
So if I go for the black one, the electric one, yeah, currently has blue stripes. If I can get them redone
Imagine if you
in
get
the
an-
pink stripes.
Imagine if you could get them redone in like the packing tape design.
I could probably get the middle one done. Nah, like kind of silly, but yeah. Okay, new van incoming. All right, let's get into today. Rebecca, you owned and you ran a salon for such a long time. I took part on certain things, which I'd like to maybe... The things I took part in are more for the money-saving things. The money-maximising things, that was all you, baby. You did it.
Oh,
God.
why?
Oh, God. Where's my trombone when I need it? Oh. I said the B word. I'm so
You
sorry.
did.
I was trying to pay a compliment as well. So when it came to maximising sales, that was all you. You put in the graph, not just in the salon, afterwards. So first of all, I just want to talk about, you're a qualified nail tech, let's just say, or you're just starting out, or you're building your salon, or you currently own a salon. What's the best and most kind of fundamental way to build momentum and build up your earnings?
Build your clientele. It's going to be social media, isn't it? The problem is these days is it is so, not only is the nail market so oversaturated, the social media market is also really, really saturated. So it's so difficult to be seen, but you need to be consistent, number one. We've talked about this a million times in different ways, and we could definitely do a whole podcast on social media and stuff like that. We probably will, because we did that social media masterclass, Laura and I, and we could probably talk about some things from there. But you need to be using each of the platforms as they are designed to be used. So you're going to use Instagram as your showcase, as your portfolio of your work. It's going to be clean. It's not going to be messy. It's not going to have, lots of advertisement on it. Pick the best of the best pictures, put them on.
More like nail pictures rather than infographics.
Exactly. You're going to advertise your availability all the time on your stories as well.
Not on the grid,
But
though.
not on the grid. So no infographics on the grid. But with Facebook, you can use that much more for sort of advertising, infographics, deals, this, that, and the next thing. So imagine stories on Instagram is kind of like Facebook's main page. And then TikTok, you kind of want to use that as a bit of fun. I would say people love watching like a day in the life, things like that, or silly memes and stuff like that. But make sure you're utilizing each platform as they are intended to be used, number one.
That's one of the things. If you go into I hate it when you go onto Instagram and you see people just cross-pollinating from TikTok. It has a little watermark and you just think to yourself, it's not the right place, bro.
Talking watermarks, keep watermarks off of everything. I know we all want to put our branding out there and stuff, but if you are wanting to ever be picked up by a brand, again, this is something we can go into more in a social media podcast, people aren't going to repost your pictures if they have watermarks on them. You want to have really clean pictures up close where you can see the nails, they're nice and clear. And yeah, like I said, advertising your availability on your stories. So other things that you can do to try and maximize your presence, because sometimes what you want to do is you want to build up your following, and then that'll help you build up your clientele as well. Something like a competition as well, where you're doing the whole like and share thing, bringing some more exposure to your page. Other things that you can do are, especially if you are new to being a nail tech, you want to run some offers to try and build up that clientele and build up your portfolio. If you are new to something, you can't go into it with the arrogance of, well, I know my worth and I'm worth more than that. You've got to prove yourself. Every single person who is new has to do it. It's a rite of passage. You've got to start from the bottom. And that does usually involve running some offers. Make it abundantly clear that they are a limited time offer. Have your standard prices that you will work towards shown as well, so people can see the saving that they're making. But yeah, do that. Maybe a refer a friend deal that you can do as well. So that you've got one client and they bring somebody in, they get a discount and the friend gets a discount as well. Those are the types of things you need to be doing. You need to be proactive. Customers aren't going to come and find you. You need to show yourself to them.
When we first started in our salon in Paisley, so we had another salon in another location, but this was the one where Rebecca really got her claws into it in the nicest way. And one of the things we utilised was Facebook, and just advertising on Facebook.
Nobody else was doing it. No other businesses of our type were using Facebook in the same way that we were using it back then, as just a marketing tool, pumping out offers, pumping out availability, putting up the pictures.
So when you first started that Facebook page, Alexa agrees with you as always. When you first started that Facebook page, it wasn't a page, it was a person, right?
It was a person, yeah.
And this is something I just want to touch on a couple of things. I see some people being, and I just want to know your opinion on this, having a personal Facebook page and advertising their wares on it in terms of the business stuff.
No.
This is something I don't like, because I don't want to see somebody's kids when I just want to know what the tattoo availability is,
Exactly.
something like that.
Absolutely. Keep it separate. Your clients don't really want to, they don't really, for the most part, care what's going on. That sounds really harsh, but it is true. They don't really care what's going on in your personal life. Keep things completely separate. So you have a separate, I think that's a really good point, Chris. Have a separate business page to your personal page, and don't cross-post. Remember, your clients are not your friends. Do you know what I mean?
They're not. Judge you.
And your friends aren't your clients, because your friends are probably not paying, or certainly not paying what they should be paying. Do you know what I mean? So your clients are not your friends, even though you can build up a really nice relationship with some people. And occasionally it can cross over from that professional relationship into a friendship, but that is rare and few and far between. So keep them completely separate, for sure.
Yeah. So that was just one thing I just wanted to touch on. But you started it as a person. It was just a made-up person, and it was the name of the salon.
But there was a reason behind that, and I can't remember what it was.
I can tell you why. That's
okay,
what I was like, shut up and let me talk, man. It was because you could direct message people.
Oh, okay.
So for instance, if somebody had put onto like we're located in Paisley. So if somebody put into Paisley, our town, friendly place, like a chat for things.
A forum.
Where can I get nails done? If you have a Facebook page, number one, you couldn't see it back in the day. I know it's slightly different now, but you couldn't reach out to people. Yeah. It was forbidden back then. So
things were very, very different. We're talking about way over 10 years ago here, so things were very different.
So you could instantly be like, hi, I've seen you're looking for acrylic nails. We've got a deal on for £19 this week. Yeah. You know? And that's why we did it. Do you remember what happened when we went on holiday?
Yes, I do.
So we took my son on his first holiday away with us. I think it was day 1.5.
Wait, are you talking about the Chris Costello thing?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't then. That was on our first cruise. And we got to Puerto Rico, and you and I were sitting on these steps, and I can remember it was the first port we got to, because we felt like the ground was rocking, right? And we sat down on these two steps, and I went, so here's what happened. It made us change. It recognised that we were operating as a business, and it wanted us to change the name on the account to a person's name. And I think we probably had to upload proof of the person or wherever it was. So Chris was sitting beside me, and I go, I'll just change it to Chris Costello, and I'll just change it back like in a day or whatever it is. And then we changed it to Chris Costello, and it never let us change it ever again. Ever again.
That's not what I was talking about. It was actually something else.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
You changed from a person to a page.
Right.
So it still kept that name, This was when we were in Tunisia, I think it was. And the only place we could get Wi-Fi at the time was sitting in reception, and you were freaking out sitting in reception, like, oh my God. Because again, a Facebook page has so many restrictions. You can't just reach out in the same way.
Yeah.
Really, you can only advertise on it. You can show your, again, it's kind of like in a showcase, or you can put your Instagram, your posts up. But yeah, I can remember you freaking out because you were thinking we're going to lose all these customers. Turns out, not so much. And now, I think Facebook has kind of come around to the idea of it's okay to have a Facebook page and be able to like respond to customers and reach out to customers.
Something else we did with this was with another business, but I see a lot of nail techs do it now. Is we set up a group on Facebook.
Yes.
We had 30,000 people or something in that Facebook group. And because it was for our other business, which is a clothing boutique, so it's made more sense for it to have 30,000 people in it, where a nail salon wouldn't have that. Because every time we posted on it, people were getting a notification. So that was a great thing to do as well. People could, go on there, see any offers and stuff. And on Instagram, there's so many more tools available these days than what we had back then. But on Instagram, you've got that broadcast channel and stuff like that, where you can broadcast your deals and things like that. So that's also something to utilize as well. Do not bother with flyering. Do not bother with advertising in a paper. Anything like that. Use the free tools to you. And something else I will say is, as an individual nail tech, there is no point in you using Meta ads. No point. Don't waste the money. It's so oversaturated. It costs you an absolute fortune and nobody can see you.
We have actually stopped using Meta ads and Google ads. Yeah. We have scaled back, and we were spending like thousands of pounds a month. And we've scaled it back just because it proves there was no point. There was no point.
Nobody can see it. There's just too much. And the big players, they can spend 10, 20, 100 times what we can.
I want to implore you guys to go do something. If you've got time and can be bothered and you're not driving or anything, go to Ads Library. Just search Google, go into Google and just search Ads Library. And that is a library of everyone who's advertising on Facebook and Instagram just now.
Yeah, so you can search any business and see what ads they have live.
You can see what they've got. So for instance, if you use nail order, you'll be able to search nail order and it will pop up and it will show you what ads we have got live. But do you know what the biggest spenders in the UK are for advertising?
You've told me this before and I cannot remember.
Charities.
Oh yes, you told me this. Yes, I
remember. The church and charities, the two biggest mafias ever. Don't sue me, bro. Don't sue me, bro. Yeah, so charities do it, like the British Red Cross and stuff like that. Or other charities are available, but that's just one I can remember seeing the last time.
You told me that, I can remember.
And they're like 30, 40 grand a month. And you're thinking to yourself, what?
Does the ads library show you how much people are paying?
On those big ones, yeah.
Oh, but not on
not on ours, no. I think you can actually toggle it to see what the biggest 50 or something is in the UK, and I think they have to disclose it.
Right.
I think it's over a certain threshold they have to disclose how much they're doing. But yeah, charities.
Crazy.
And the church. It's wild.
Really is bad.
So yeah, I just thought that's imperative. So yeah, so imagine you are Jean. We always use Jean. You've got your own personal profile on Instagram and Facebook, and you've set up a Facebook page for Jean's Nails, and you've set up an Instagram for Jean's Nails, and you've set up your TikTok for Jean's Nails and funny clips. You touched on a kind of brief thing. You said a day in the life for TikTok. Mm-hmm. When we take people for interviews, and this is across the board, anytime you say to someone, what would you do? Like, what would you do for a TikTok?
They say day in the life.
And everyone's like, I'd love to do a day in the life. So a day in the life must be something that people love to watch.
I think they do, yeah.
So I've seen Katie, who works for us, she does day in the life quite a lot on her TikTok. And I am interested because when she comes into work here, so she's an nail tech as well. She works, I mean, she's on like a 14-day straight thing just now. And I like to see what her day in the life is like, because it doesn't affect me when she's doing nails, It's nice to see what she's doing. But if I was one of our clients, I'd be like, oh God, she was doing 14 clients the other day when she was in with me, when I was in with her, sorry. And now she's doing 14 clients a day. So I think that is a really good one. That's one I'd never thought about doing. And I guess the TikTok aspect of it, we use it in nail order as just a fun tool. Something fun. We do taste tests, we do packing live, stuff like that. So yeah, I can definitely see why you would do that differently. Instagram, you would use that as a showcase, like you said, and then Facebook, you would use that more as
spam,
kind of like flyers, but digital flyers.
Exactly.
If someone wanted to make up a TikTok video, what software? What would you use? So say Jean's new to this. What would she use?
Give me a really, really good thought of something to say. We like to use CapCut here, don't we?
Yeah, so we tend to just film on our phones
But
and use
also,
CapCut
if you want to make
edit
up,
it. Let me finish my words. Jeez,
you're saying a lot of words today.
I've had a backache.
If you want to make up flyers, you want to make up things like that, Canva, you want to be using Canva. And also, especially if you're just starting out, I probably wouldn't even pay somebody to do a logo, because you can go onto Canva and do it so easily yourself. I've seen people like pay for logos and you look at them thinking, what on earth? Don't even waste the money. Go onto Canva, boss something up yourself.
But Jean, she has no creativity in her head.
So
Jean, here's the creative part. Jump onto a website called ChatGPT and just type into the words, I would like a logo for my business. It's called Jean's Nails. And spell Jean the correct way. It'll produce you a logo that'll probably spell Jean the wrong way. It'll probably spell it Gene, so that it doesn't, so you can't copyright it. But what it does do is it does give you a great idea to go with, and then you can move over to Canva with that idea and you can recreate your own.
Exactly.
Sometimes when I'm looking for thumbnail ideas, like for this podcast, I can't think what to do. I'm terrible. I'm not creative. I really should get Laura to do it, but I know she's busy on a Saturday when I'm usually editing these videos. So I usually do that. I go onto ChatGPT, I just ask it for an idea. It'll give you an idea, and then you can go create it, recreate it if you like it. So just use all these tools.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to lead on to with the TikTok thing. So film it on your phone, use CapCut. I was going to go into Facebook flyers and how to use it. Canva, use the free one.
Best thing ever.
Instagram, any tips for taking photos on Instagram real quick?
Make sure they are clear. Make sure the subject is the focus of the photo. Make sure it's kind of up close. Make sure the nails aren't dripping in oil. And showcase your best work. You don't need to put every single picture up, but use the best pictures that you have. No watermarks.
How many would you do a day? One a day?
Yeah, we used to do 3 a day in the salon, but then it's just the algorithm changes all the time, so you want to see what the algorithm wants.
Yeah.
But I would at least do one a day. Be consistent. Try and post something every single day. So take your best one, and you can schedule them all as well. It's not like you have to physically go on and do it every single day. You can schedule them for a week. That's just seven posts. It's going to take you probably 20 minutes to schedule 7 posts.
Yeah, if you have a cancellation, use that time wisely.
Exactly. Good idea.
If somebody's cancelled, they're not coming in to do your nails, you've maybe taken a deposit. So yeah, use that time because you're still getting paid for it essentially.
Yeah.
All right. That leads me on to the next thing. So that's a good segue. Clients, when they come in, how do you book them in, Rebecca, with your paper diary?
Oh no, never. We've never had a paper. Did we?
Yes, we bloody did.
For 5 minutes?
When we first started
About
Piranha
15
Pedi.
years ago?
Yeah.
15 years ago. Yeah, a long time ago. But when we got the salon in terms of beauty treatments, we got a booking system really quick.
Okay. So let's give a shout out to some booking systems.
Well, we loved Avatu. Avatu was fantastic. I still use it today for my microblading. It doesn't cost you per client. You pay a fixed, I think you can do there's about £10 a month or something. It depends on how many staff members you need to have
and
on
how
it.
complex you want it to send out things like notifications and consent forms, etc.
Well, no, that package just covers that.
Does it?
Yeah. You can do so much. You can have it all online so people can make their own appointments, or you can have it offline in terms of you just book people in. It can take deposits. It can send out consent forms. You can add notes, add pictures. Do email marketing from it. Really, really fantastic. We loved it. You've got other ones such as Polish Pad, which is meant specifically for nail technicians. So that's something to look at. You've got other ones I can't comment on, like Fresher and Booksy, but I know specifically Fresher, I think there's booking fees and stuff involved for new clients and stuff. So I personally wouldn't like that. But 1000% get an online booking system because so many reasons. Well, number one, the deposits. You need to be taking deposits. We did not used to take deposits, so I can speak from both sides of the coin in terms of experience. We didn't used to take deposits, and people just not show up all the time. When you start taking deposits, people will show up, and if they don't show up, you've been at least compensated for some of your time.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Mm-hmm. People are more likely to show up when they have had some sort of financial...
And if they go, I don't have the money on me, whatever, just contact me when you do, and I'll book you in then. Do not let them bully you into booking them in, because that person will not turn up. I can say to a degree of certainty that person will not show up. I've probably taken personally 5,000 appointments, maybe more in my lifetime. And you know that sixth sense you get when someone's not going to turn up? it's always that person that's never paid a deposit.
100%, and that's always the case. So if you could always turn around and say, you know what, I didn't take a deposit on that one, and just know she's not going to turn up, and it would be true, and you would quite often just double book it anyway.
Yeah,
You would just book it in.
yeah.
So one thing I would say on that is I would personally have a lot of saved replies, probably in your notes app, or if you can have saved replies on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
So if someone messages and says, I'd like to book in for such and such date, just have a saved reply. No problem, this is the booking link, blah, blah, blah. You can book yourself in here, or if you want to leave a deposit here, you can do that and have all these links set up so that it's not repetition, so you don't have to go in and do it. It's just done in a saved reply. And that way, if they don't pay such and such, one of the stipulations is the appointment will not be secure until you have made your deposit.
And that's the thing. You want to open up every possible way of them being able to book in. So I'm a very lazy person, and I don't want to have to talk to someone to book myself in. I just want to be able to go online, see the availability, and book something when it suits me. Because then I can see like the times, I can see the prices, I can see the treatments available. That's just what suits me. So I'm not going to book a treatment somewhere that doesn't have an online booking system, no matter how great they are, just because I don't want to. But then you have other people who are maybe more technophobic, and they want to be able to phone up and they want to book in. So don't cut yourself off. Don't say I only take online bookings or I don't take online bookings. Make every possible option available to your clients. So that will probably mean that you'll need to have a card payment provider online to take those online payments. You'll have to have like a PayPal, and also maybe your bank details available as well. If somebody phones up, make sure you're taking their details for a start, mobile number. Say, I can book you in, but I will need you to pay a deposit. And important, just like you said, to let you know that appointment is not secured until the deposit is paid. I'll send you the link right now. If you could pay it straight away and then let me know, that would be great. Send them your bank details, send them the PayPal link, whatever. But I wouldn't cut off your nose to spite your face in terms of going, no, I'm not going to do any of it. It is annoying, I get that. But especially when you're starting out, you can't be fussy. When obviously you're a little bit further down the line, you've got an existing clientele, you can maybe be a little bit more fussy. But certainly to begin with, open yourself up as much as possible to everybody.
One thing I would say is, so that's a good point. What is it you need to be able to take all these like online payments and everything else? I would say first and foremost, get yourself a booking system and probably pay for it, because the free ones, they're free for a reason. There's going to be some sort of hidden cost in there, or they're going to be advertised and stuff like that. Don't shell out loads, but have that. One thing that we had is we had a static phone in our salon.
We did.
And if it rang a certain amount of times and it didn't get answered, it went to the receptionist's mobile, which is a great thing that you can do. One thing I would say is you probably don't, if you're just a single nail tech, you probably don't need a static phone, because that's going to cost you a lot more than what it would do to get an eSIM from a company like Labara or someone like that. If, say, for instance, you're with O2, just for talking sake, or Vodafone, they will have like a cheap eSIM that you can get that's just, it's on your phone. It gives you a second number, and that would be the number I would have connected to it, because you can switch that number off at certain times. So, for instance, you can only have that number live between, 9 and 5. And if you say, for instance, go on holiday or you're having time with the family, you can make sure that number is off, and you can schedule it and stuff like that.
Because what you don't want is clients messaging, hi babe, I know you're on holiday right now, but could you get me booked in for that next thing? And then next thing you know, you're working, you're meant to be chilling. Or
you're 10 sangria deep and you booked it in for lots of things that you didn't want booked in for. So use it sensibly. Like Rebecca and I discussed at the beginning, if we were in like Puerto Rico or something, and we're changing something on Facebook. We work all the time, but that's just us. Everyone's different. Have that work-life balance if you want it. But that's two things I would say. Get your online booking system and get a second number for sure. PayPal is fundamental for being able to take payments, and it's a lot cheaper than a lot of other places.
Yep.
If you do want a card machine, should you pay for a card machine, or should you get one of the kind of cheapy ones?
Honestly, I don't know enough about card machines. I feel like you know a little bit more about card machines than I do.
It depends on volume.
You need a card machine, whatever you do.
You have to be able to take card payments.
You must.
SumUp and Square are some of the ones that most people would probably use. If you're only using it a couple times a week, I'd probably go for that, because you don't have a standing monthly charge. However, the standing monthly charge ones tend to have lower rates. So for instance, let's just use simple numbers. If a customer's paying £100 for a treatment and it's charging you 3%, it's going to cost you £3. Mm-hmm. But if you're only using that twice a week, then £6. It's nothing really.
We might as well get into that now. In terms of, we're saying open yourself up, let people book in any way that they can. you need to do the same with payments as well, don't you? People need to be able to pay. Do not cut yourself off in terms of cash only or card only. Accept every payment method. That would be my best advice.
Yeah. And again, we'll go into this more probably next week in how to try and save yourself money. But yeah, I would do that. I would make sure you work out roughly per month what you're currently, how all your payments are coming in. Is 30% cash, 30% PayPal, and 30% card payments? Then you've got to work it yourself. Okay, I don't really need to pay too much attention in card payments, because if I'm only paying 3% on 30% of the card payments, I know I've just blown everyone out of the water just by saying those percentages. It's not costing you that much, whereas cash and PayPal are. Like, I hate taking cash.
Everything costs money. To put money in the bank these days costs money. So it doesn't matter what you do, there is going to be a charge involved.
It's just a business charge.
It is, but at least by taking like car payments, you are opening up other possibilities as well, which we'll get into in a second. So yeah, it is so important to not only have an online booking system, but to take card payments as well. You absolutely must. And like Chris has touched on, Square, SumUp and stuff, there's so many ways. Even PayPal, I think, has a little card machine thing as well. Really cheap to get, easy. Whatever you get something.
Yeah.
Have the option.
We're trying to rush through this because we've only got another long podcast, but the best thing to do is see if you jump on to Nail Order Tips and Advice group and just ask in there. And people will just give you their best practices, because they are your peers. They are the working nail techs.
I'm not going to tell you what card machine that we have right now for my microblading,
Jesus
because
Christ.
Chris absolutely hates it and thinks it costs an absolute fortune. But I will say something else, which is actually on the list to talk about later, which is tips. And what is really great about my card machine that I have, and other card machines will have this feature and do, because we moved from a different card machine that had the feature as well, is it can ask the customer if they want to leave a tip. I know we briefly talked about tips on another episode before, and how crazy it is that we always leave tips in restaurants where nobody spent like 2 hours one-on-one time with you, but people don't tip, hairdressers, beauty therapists, nail technicians, etc. But sometimes people just don't think. So if they are presented with a card machine and it asks them the question, do you want to leave a tip, yes or no? And they have to enter something before they move on. 9 times out of 10, they will actually leave you a tip.
Guilted into it. I was in the barbershop last week during the weekend, and I always take cash in because the guy that takes card payments, but it's a 50p charge, which I understand why he's doing it, because he's just passing the charge on to us. And this guy was getting his haircut, and I think I said this to you, I was in for far too long. I try and plan it so I only just walk in and it's my turn, or I'll just go do something else. And this guy just kept adding new things to it. So he gets his haircut, then he wanted a beard trim, then he wanted this, and then he wanted his nose waxed, then he wanted his eyebrows trimmed and everything else. Got to the end of it, it was like, I don't know, the guy's only charging like £18. He's like, I'll pay by card. So he was like, okay, it's £18.50. And he didn't just say, round up to £20, bro, and just paid it. And I'm like, this is so stupid, man. Anyway, that's my gripe for one of my gripes for today. So we're taking card payments. And one thing that we're going to is booking people in and everything else afterwards. But say, for instance, customers in and they're getting a treatment done. What sort of add-ons could you add into a treatment?
This is the thing. If somebody's coming, if you're saying, I only take cash, and the person comes with, say their treatment is £40, they come with 40 quid, they don't have a penny more on them, then they can't get any other add-ons. So in terms of add-ons, we are looking at nail art. We are looking at removals. So there's 2 things we want to talk about here. Number 1, you should be charging for nail art and you should be charging for removals. Nail art is going to take you a lot more time, and your time is worth money. Work out how much money you want to earn per hour and divvy that up and add that on for your nail art charge. Obviously, there is a small amount of product that you need to use for nail art, so you need to incorporate that as well. But make sure you are charging for your nail art and you're charging appropriately. The next thing is removals. Do not, please, give removals away for free, because removals, even when you're charging for them, are making you no money. Even when you're charging for them, you're simply maybe breaking even. I think we used to charge £8 or £10 for a removal of full cover tips.
I remember when we first started, it was a £5.
A £5, and it doesn't cover the acetone. It barely covers the acetone.
Unless you buy it from Nail Order, it's quite cheap.
But if you think like a removal of full cover tips, say that's taking you half an hour.
It's time.
Plus the files that you're using, plus the acetone that you're removing, it costs. A removal is one of the more expensive things that you can actually do. So you must be charging for it, absolutely. And if you're not charging for it separately, you're going to have to bundle it into the price of your treatment.
Let's just break that down. Say, for instance, you want to earn a minimum of £10 an hour. I know that sounds stupid, but I'm using simple
Just because
numbers.
it's a round number, right? I get that.
£10 per hour. It takes you half an hour to do a removal. So that's £5.
£5.
So that should be the minimum baseline you're using.
Yeah, and that's not even to touch on anything else.
Take into consideration your acetone, your nail files. It's freezing cold outside, so you want to incorporate a little bit of heat into that
Some
as
light.
well. Some light.
Maybe you're using an e-file, so you're using other electricity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You've got your Spotify on, so you're
You're probably cleaning down the desk between times, so you're cleaning materials.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got a mani mat on the desk, which you're changing between. You've got all of those costs
Gloves.
involved. Gloves,
all
yeah.
those things. So let's just put it into context. It costs you, say, £12.50. No, it doesn't. I can't do math, sorry. Costs you £6.50. Your time plus £1.50 of your incidentals and
Oh, it
everything
definitely
else.
costs more than £1.50 in acetone if you're putting it in bowls.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Not nail order cheap.
Everything
acetone.
else, I think you're talking about like £8 in total, probably.
Okay. Imagine
least.
you're only charging £2 for that.
Or imagine giving it away for free.
Oh, God. Why are you giving it away?
No. And that's only if you want to earn £10 an hour. Most nail techs are wanting to walk away with at least £20 an hour, £25 an hour. So it's really, really important that you're charging for removals, guys. It is a completely separate service and it should be charged for.
Okay. So that is something like an add-on like that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I always think about is if you're coming in to get your fingernails done, a great add-on is toes.
It is at certain times of the year, and of course you don't need your toes done as frequently as you need your nails done. So if you do fingers, there's no reason you can't do toes. So I think it's always a good thing. If you are a nail tech, you don't do any other beauty treatments, waxing and stuff like that, I think, why wouldn't you open it up?
Definitely. That's
Toes are
good.
always so much faster than nails. You don't need to put builder on them. It's just a standard gel polish. It hardly takes you any time. Yeah, do it.
So for add-ons, I'm going to spin this back round. The reason I brought add-ons into it right now is because if you don't have a card machine, and like Rebecca said, if they only come in a set amount of cash, you're charging, say, £40 for a set of nails. If they only bring £40 in, they're never going to use an add-on. They're never going to buy anything retail. They're never going to spend any more money than that £40. But
Can't leave you a tip either.
Yeah, they can't leave you a tip. But if you have a card machine or the availability to pay in other ways, cryptocurrencies or whatever, you should actually get into cryptocurrencies just now. Rebecca and I have made thousands this week.
Have we?
XRP, guys, XRP. To the moon,
Thousands
to the
of
moon.
pennies.
I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. But one thing I love about a booking system that is digital versus a paper one, you can actually see like colour blocks and times. So you can potentially say to customers, like, oh, you've come in, you've got nails on. I don't have time to do that because if you look at my thing, I don't have time to do that. I'm back to back, Or I do have time to do toes if you want to get your toes done because you said you're going on holiday, Jean.
Yes, you can maximise your time as well.
So I think that's a really good thing for that. Whereas if it's a paper diary, sometimes it's really hard to digest, like who's
to
in
let you
next to them.
visualise.
Yeah. And that's one of the good things about the online booking systems. So yeah. One thing I touched on there was retail. Rebecca and I are from a sales background and we love to sell everything and anything. It's a bit of a competition between each other. But also we just really get passionate about certain products. One of the things we used to sell in our salon was cuticle oils. And lo and behold, we started nail order and we sold cuticle oils.
Yes.
What other type of retail products? And let's touch on cuticle oils. What's so good about retail products?
Because it bolsters your profit. That's one of the reasons it was so important to us, is because we're in a deprived area, so we couldn't charge very much for the treatments in the first place. So we had to find another way to be able to sort of bolster the profits. And retail is a fantastic way to do that. And the type of person that comes into the salon is the type of person who likes to take care of themselves. So they're already far more likely to invest in these types of products. So things that we have sold in the salon were like cuticle oil, sanitizers, fake tan. We used to sell a bucket load of tan.
And we used to do spray tans.
Yeah,
But some people just don't like in a spray tan, but they'll happily pick up a bottle of mousse.
Exactly. Tan erasers.
Oh yeah, because if you're getting a tan, you want to get rid of it.
What else did we sell? We sold
Sleep masks. If you get lashes done, we had those sleep masks that had the cups in them.
cups in
to
them,
protect them.
God, so many things. Oh, we had like the little bubbles. What were they called? Invisibubbles.
Oh yeah,
There's like, we had way back then teeth whitening gel.
teeth whitening gel. The hair that used to clip in hair.
We did.
Everything.
Obviously, what you sell is you're going to make it want to make sense. So we were a salon that offered all types of beauty treatments. So it made sense to have a little bit of everything. If you only offer nails, you're only going to want to offer nail-related things. So as an example, here at Nail Order, things that we offer in terms of retail are your cuticle oils, sanitizers, keezies. Now we've got the cuticle oil caddies, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. So make it. It's easy to sell something if you're already doing something to do with the treatment. So for instance, if you are one of these people that bosh out 50 spray tans in a day, having tan erasers is great.
Oh, yeah,
you can
great.
say to someone, your tan would be much better if you came in and that was all scrubbed off.
And you were exfoliated and blah, 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 blah. But also at the end of your treatment, when you're doing a set of nails, you should be applying cuticle oil. So you apply a lovely cuticle oil, the client smells it, like, oh my God, that is amazing. And you make it exciting. You're like, oh my God, I've got this new cuticle oil. Give it a smell. They smell it. They fall in love. It's so easy for them to just pick one up on the way out, especially if it's £7, £8. They've got their card, so they can add it on. There's no restriction. It's easy.
This time of year especially.
Oh my God, yeah, because we are all the same in here. Like all of us have been having some issues with our nails because it's just so cold and our skins and nails are so dry.
Mine are always like that, but that's not what I was getting at. This time of year, Christmas time.
Oh,
People are always looking for picking up that little extra, that stocking filler, that secret Santa. I don't know what to get Jean. One of the girls downstairs was saying, I've never met this person for my secret Santa. What do I get them? And I'm like, just get them a bath bomb. No, get them a bloody cuticle oil. Because it's a great thing to pick up, you know? This time of year, we're right after Black Friday. See, honestly, we touched on this a couple of podcasts ago. Buy all your retail stuff on Black Friday where you're saving money. Sell it throughout the whole of December and even into early January when people are a little bit more affluent with like Christmas money, you know?
And something else, gift vouchers. Gift vouchers. So you can do bundles, make up bundles of your retail products, but you can also bundle retail with gift vouchers as well.
Yep.
When somebody used to come in and buy a gift voucher, I would flipping love it. But when somebody came in to use a gift voucher, I would probably hate it more than I loved it in the first place. But what I will say, and we've touched on this previously, is that there is a percentage of gift vouchers that never, ever get used. And that is the same in every single business. So whatever you are getting, say you're selling a gift voucher for £30, realistically that gift voucher is probably worth about £33, maybe a little bit more to you, because you're selling other gift vouchers that are never going to be used. Make sure you have, you've got your use by dates, etc., etc. Even if you had use by dates, there's ones that are just never going to come back. So they are more valuable than the money that comes in for them. So make sure you're offering gift vouchers as well.
The good thing about gift vouchers is quite often we would have Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas, you would have just guys come into the salon.
Oh my God, yes.
They'd come in and be like, oh, what's the smell
Christmas
in here?
Eve, always guys would be going in.
They'd walk in and go, what's the smell in here? It's acetone, mate, or it's mono?
Yeah, what's the smell in here? They would, wouldn't they?
Yeah, dude. But they would come in and they would get gift vouchers. But not only that is, say for instance, Mary's in and she's thinking, oh, do you know that girl that sits across me in work, she's always about getting her nails done but never gets them done. I'm going to get her a gift voucher. All of a sudden, she's bought a gift voucher from you and you've gained a new client. Because,
yes.
Because Mary's doing the groundwork for you.
That happened so many times with me with brows.
Yeah.
Even until like last year, I was obviously, just before last year, I stopped doing new clients over a year ago. But yeah, gift vouchers, I would sell gift vouchers all the time for new sets. And then that's somebody that you've got. For me, it was obviously once a year for eyebrows, but as a nail tech, that's a new person you've got every single month. So fantastic thing to be able to offer.
Yeah. So again, when it comes to retail, I think if you set up little things, again, we spoke about this before, if you get like a cuticle oil, a sanitizer, and even like a £10 gift voucher, put them all in a nice little display organza bag that you can get cheap off AliExpress, you've got like a nice little package that you've put together for someone.
Exactly.
A pamper package.
Yeah. They're perfect for Secret Santas, like you said, because it's always difficult at work with Secret Santas if you don't know somebody very well. Gift vouchers are just a go-to for when you don't really know what to get somebody.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm going to use for my Secret Santa this year. And by the time that comes out...
Is that going to be a nail order gift voucher? Probably.
Well, I could actually do it. not saying who I've got, but they use nail order and that's all I'm saying.
I could ask you on the next episode who you've got.
Because it'll have been and gone.
Well, by the time it goes out, it'll have been and gone.
Yeah, but it's still a secret. I don't want that person to know.
I think
because it might be really good. The present might be really good, and they'll be like, "This is a great present." It'll be terrible. It'll be a pair of socks. In fact, I love socks. Anyway, that's another story for another day. Pamper packages is something I just touched on there. So let's talk about that real quickly. Packages. At Christmas time, when you would open the Christmas diary, you guys would put together packages.
Yeah, but see, now I look back and I go, was that the right thing to do?
Think about it. You would get a set of full cover tips with silver nail art, and not silver nail art, as in the silver package. That means like
medium nail art.
Kind of
middle of the road nail art.
Party lashes and a spray tan for £55.
This was way, way back in the day.
Okay, but what that person might have only booked in for is just nails.
Yeah.
Or just nails and lashes.
It's such a hard one with pan packages because I look back at it and I'm like, was that the right thing to do? Because you're so busy at Christmas, like back to back, clients all over the place.
The thing is, but if they're in the...
Do you need to do it? It depends.
If they're in the salon, you may as well
But it very much depends if you're a salon that has multiple staff and you offer multiple treatments, or if you're an individual nail tech. If you're an individual nail tech, do not discount your treatments at Christmas time. But yeah, it can be an idea if you are a beauty therapist or you work in a salon or have a salon that offers lots of different treatments to ensure that all of the staff are busy at all points. Yeah, it can be something to do.
So I just touched on that silver nail art. We used to call it, was it platinum, gold, silver,
We had bronze, silver, gold, and custom.
Custom. Yeah, I think it was. And you used to charge, have like a kind of set price and a guide to what that would get you. Do you think that's a really good thing to do?
Really good thing to do because it makes it really, really clear to the clients.
Transparency.
If somebody's booking in for nail art, you kind of want to know what they are wanting as well, because they might book in for bronze nail art, which is like a cuticle dot, and actually what they're wanting is like Mickey Mouse painted on their nails. So it's important that you know what you're doing to ensure that it's within your skill set, and the customer knows, so they know what they're going to be paying on the day.
What's the best way to make customers aware of that?
Social media for sure. Instagram, have a highlight on Instagram.
Highlight is
So
a good thing.
Instagram is great for highlights where people can go on and they can find out all the information. They can find where you are, maybe who you are. You can do, I know we said about personal stuff, but you can do a little sort of blog post, a wee picture of yourself with some writing about who you are.
How you started in the industry, how long you've been doing it for.
So where you are, who you are, what you offer, your prices, and then any other important information, any policies you might have. We've talked about that before, policies and setting boundaries. That's really important as well. So maybe you are no children, or maybe you can't see clients if they're 10 minutes late, or please don't come in with sickness, all of these type of things. And then one for your nail art as well. So it's a rough guide, but yeah, highlights, definitely utilise them.
That's a good one. So for instance, if you put together a little small portfolio of what an example of bronze nail art is.
Exactly, a few pictures, not just one picture, but give a few so people get
examples.
Right. I get the gist of that for each section.
So this is marble. I want marble. I'll go to marble. That's a silver one. That's what it is.
Yep. And make that clear in your booking system as well. So maybe if you have silver, we would have, I think, like silver and brackets. Like you just said, marble. This might be a marble and a couple of fingers. This might be nail art and a couple of fingers. Blah 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 blah. Silver. This is French, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just have a little short description so it gives people an idea.
Okay. So say a customer's come in, they've got their nails done, they've got their toes done because you did an add-on, and they're buying some cuticle oils for their friends for Christmas.
It's been all round successful by the sounds of things.
Yes, it's been a great day because you've been listening to the Nail on Sunday podcast and you've taken everything that Chris and Rebecca have said and you've implemented it into your salon and they're paying. What's one of the last things you should do as they are checking out?
Can I book you back in for next time?
That's such a good one. Ask for a repeat sale because 9 times out of 10, if they're happy with the product that you've given them in terms of their nails, if they love the cuticle oil, they're buying it for themselves.
Jump on the chance and take that deposit at that time.
Yes.
You know, if they're already paying, I think this is what we would do. They're already paying, then go, do you want me to book you in for next time? Be casual about it. Do you want me to book you in? And they'll go, yes, right, I'll just add your deposit on, okay?
Yeah.
And there you go. It's all done in a one-er. You don't need to do separate things. It's all done.
Yeah. And what sort of deposit would you take on an average booking?
Tough one. I cannot remember what we would take.
Skydiver.
Huh?
Skydiver.
A $5?
Yeah, that was the standard.
No, it wasn't.
I think at some point you implemented a percentage, but I think it used to be £5.
It was a percentage.
When we started taking it, now for all Jennifer's flaws.
It took us we had to work our way up, didn't we?
Yeah.
But no, it was definitely percentage latterly. I cannot remember. What were you going to say about Jennifer?
For all Jennifer's flaws, when she started with us, certain things that she implemented right away
great.
were take a customer's phone number for a start, which we never used to do, which sounds
stupid.
ridiculous.
We were just there in a hope and a prayer that they were just going to turn up.
Because we used to send out text messages to say, your appointment is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But if they didn't show up, you could call them and they'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm actually in the car park outside. We'd be like, right, okay, we can hold this appointment for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we take a deposit. And I think when she first started, she was like, just take at least a £5. Because Rebecca, my other wife, Jennifer, she came from the hotel background where you needed all the contact information. And if you booked a hotel room, I know personally, if I booked a hotel room, like Las Vegas, you don't need to leave a deposit. You don't need to pay when you get to Las Vegas for a hotel room.
They pay you to stay.
They pay you. But if I hadn't paid for it, I just probably wouldn't show up if I had something else on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's what clients will do. They just won't show up.
So, I mean, how much, again, you probably need to ask yourself, if that person doesn't turn up, how much do you want to pay yourself? The thing with deposits is the same. This is something very personal to me that I've always struggled with. It's the same thing with gift vouchers. When you take the money for the deposit, that means when they come and pay, then you're taking less money. So it can it's
As in
a
you've already
psychological.
taken that money.
Yes, but if you book them straight back in, obviously you should be unaffected. So you kind of need to work out, if that person didn't turn up, how much money would I want to cover my time that would be wasted? Yeah, maybe look at about a third.
Of what the treatment should be?
Yeah, probably that's about fair if you think about it.
So let's say a set of nails costs 30 quid. 30 quid. Again, we're using easy math here, kids.
Using a tenner. I mean, tenner's not going to pay you for your hourly rate, but
if you can sit there,
it's a risk.
And schedule your Instagram for the next week.
Yeah, exactly. You're already in work and you can get some administration done.
Yeah.
So
that floor's need mopped.
Yeah. So they're paying for that to be done. You'll have some nice clients that'll phone up and go, I can't make it, or whatever. I'm just going to pay the full thing. I've heard people saying that. The staff downstairs, I think clients have changed since we had the salon.
Really?
Loads of them say it. Oh yeah, they paid in full, so it was fine. I'm like, what?
I would say it's different if you are a single nail tech versus a salon.
Maybe. But it's like more personal and they feel, maybe.
Also, I feel that...
And what about my brow clients? They never pay in full?
I haven't paid you. I think it's maybe they see the money going to Rebecca's bank account rather than the nail tech's bank account.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In the salon.
I get that.
But let's touch on your clients. So what... Are you okay to talk cash?
Sure.
What do you take as a deposit?
£25.
£25.
Yes.
And how much are you for a set of brows? I know you don't do new brows, so you're just top ups.
Just
so
top ups.
A lot less.
Yes, the top up's 130.
130. So you're taking, yeah.
It's nowhere near a third, but we're talking about a very different value of thing. And it takes me 30 minutes. So if they don't turn up, I've been paid £25 for that time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got Jennifer's time as well because I have an assistant or a receptionist, I guess, for doing my brows, which is Jennifer, so I've got to pay both of us. But yeah.
Okay. I mean, to me, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But it's such a difference with brows, isn't it, to nails, because nails are much, much less. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, the only thing that I really ever get done, if I was to book an appointment for it, would be tattoo. You know?
And £25 as a deposit on these type of treatments, tattoos, aesthetics, semi-permanent makeup, is tiny. Most people are at least £50.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
But I always felt bad. That's why, like, even for taking a deposit for me, it was such a hard thing to do because I feel bad if people don't turn up or for whatever reason, you know, they've got flat tire, which is always the excuse. Side eye, is it true?
Send me a picture.
I would feel bad charging them for that. And I even still, to this day, if they don't turn up and then they've got to pay to book back in again, I still feel bad. And I'm like, why do I feel bad?
It's funny, Jennifer doesn't feel bad. She just does it. But that's just, that's the job of a receptionist. But yeah, £50 is for a tattoo for our place. It's very standard. And it doesn't make a difference. I think at the minimum a tattoo would be now is £50 anyway. But I remember when I first started booking in with a tattoo artist a few years ago, you could get like a tattoo for like £35. And people would be like, but it's only £35, why am I paying 50? And they're like, it's just the standard rate. Because that money comes in and we know we've got to add it back out. So one thing I just want to touch on with that is money coming in and money coming out. You're a nail tech. You're working 12 months throughout the year, but you would like to take, I don't know, a couple of weeks holiday. How do you negotiate that in terms of bookings, in terms of deposits, in terms of where your money sits and everything else?
This is a big problem, is that so many people think, oh, self-employed, I get all the money. No. Number one, you got to pay taxes. Number two, you're no longer getting holiday pay, so you need to account for that. So when you are working out how much money you want to be earning an hour, you need to factor in. The maths is quite complicated to do, but what you're going to have to do, number one, is work out how long every year you want to take off. So say you're self-employed and you're probably not going to take off as much time as you would if you're employed. Let's just say to make the maths easy, you want to take off 4 weeks a year or 1 month. So you've got to work out how much money you would earn in that month and divide it by your hours and then add that on to your hourly rate that you want to make so that you have that extra buffer.
So say, for instance, you want to make £1,000 a month. Again, we're just using quick math here.
Yeah, so you're down £1,000 automatically. So every week, if there was 4 weeks in a year, we're going to add on £250 a week. Let's just say you earn that you work, I don't know, Navas is getting
10 hours.
hard now.
10 hours a week.
Oh, then that would be £25 an hour extra you got to add on.
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
£2.50.
Right. I think we've got lost.
Golly.
It's so complicated, right? You've got £1,000 you need to make up over the year. The year. So that is over 11 months. So you've got your £1,000 divided by 11 months. Yeah?
Yep.
Then divide that by 4. That's your weekly amount. And then divide that by the number of hours you work. And that is how you're going to get the maths.
Alexa, what is... No, I'm kidding.
Alexa, stop. She could have said anything. So yeah, that's how you're going to do it. So just to recap, imagine you want to take 1 month off. And imagine in that month, apply your numbers to this maths, okay? So we're just doing it for easy maths.
Do you know what I'm going to, in the description, I'm going to put a description of this sum that we're doing.
It's quite difficult.
And I'm just going to put the bit where it says your number, and you just put your number in there and then do the math.
That's fine.
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you want to do that. You want to add that onto your hourly rate so that when you're doing your maths, you know what you're getting to.
One thing I just want to take into consideration there right now, what's happened at Nail in the last week?
Not much.
Yeah, why?
Because it's after Black Friday.
No, because everybody's bloody sick.
Oh, everybody's
you
sick.
Disgusting cretins if you're listening to this. Jesus Christ.
The staff are
Everybody
all
is sick. The whole
We've had more staff sickness in the last 2 weeks than we have ever had in any of our businesses at once, ever.
Yeah, thankfully, it is the quietest possible week that we could ever have at Nail Order.
Yeah, it's the quietest week of the year for us. Quietest 10 days of the year.
Yeah, and we have planned for this. And this is what I want to get on to. Like, you've got to plan for when things are quiet and when you could maybe take time off. We discussed this before. But one thing nobody takes into consideration is sickness.
So that's something else you need to consider as well. So you're adding on times for holiday. Maybe you got to add on for times for sick. I mean, realistically, you don't want to be accounting for more than, I would say it depends. If you have children, this number is going to be very, very different. But if you're an individual that does not have children, then I mean, I would say 3 sick days a year max. I mean, I haven't had a sick day since, what year is this? 2024, 2012 or 2011, 2012 was my last sick day.
Was that chickenpox?
I had chickenpox for the second time and I was well enough to work. I felt well enough to work. I would have. I've been in work twice with food poisoning since that. But because you see pregnant women and things like that, obviously there's a risk of infection. Yeah. I wouldn't endanger somebody like that. So that was the only time that I've done that. I don't touch wood. I've said that now. I'm going to get this awful sickness back. But yeah, I just don't do sickness. I just work through it. But obviously everybody's different. So, I mean, I don't think you should be accounting for more than a maximum of 3 sick days a year.
One thing I will say, it's very different when you're employed versus when you're self-employed.
But, and as I said, if you have children, obviously that number is going to be very different because you're going to have to take off time
jam
off.
Spreaders.
And you'll have to maybe have to take time off of their sickness. Their sickness.
I just, when Millen was a kid, like, I have never been so sick when I had a young child, because he would come home from nursery and just have a different bug every week. But
you, as the dad, I hate to say it, but you know, stereotypes, you would get sick, but you would still go off to work. Yeah. Whereas if your partner, if Millen got sick, your partner would be the one that would have to take time off to stay at home. And if I look at all of our staff that have children, they have taken far more time off for their children's sickness than for their own.
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
Way, way, way more.
Yeah.
So it is something that you do need to take into consideration if you are the main source of childcare, and it is going to fall on your head. So yeah.
That's, again, it's just, I'm glad we spitball these things because I'd never thought of that, actually. And that is a true fact. This is why we don't hire mums.
No,
I'm kidding.
Absolutely joking.
I love to stir the pot because this will get people talking. But how many, just to clarify, how many people do we have as kids? Like, I don't know, 10?
I think we've only got 3 that have kids.
Is that now? Because it used to be a hell of a lot more.
Oh, when we had the salon, it was way, we were much more heavily weighted for, and we had a spate where we had like 4 people going on maternity leave, like all boom, 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 one after the other. But I was going to say something important there. Something else I will say is if you are a self-employed nail tech and you have a partner and you guys have a child together, and it's just assumed that you will be the one that takes the time off work, I want you guys to really have a look at your finances. I mean, when I'm talking about when the child is sick, if you will be the one that takes time off work to look after the child. So 99% of the time, it is just assumed because of these assumed gender roles that we have that the woman should be the one that takes the time off work. But look at your finances. As a self-employed nail tech, are you making more money than your partner? Does it make financial sense for you to be the one to take time off work? Maybe your partner works for a company where they will get sick pay. You being self-employed, you will not get any sick pay. Obviously, it's with child sick, not you. So, but again, it depends what company they work for. If they work for a big corporation, there's a lot more flexibility and they have a lot more benefits. If you're self-employed, you don't. So I would say it's something that's important to look at. Look at who is making the most money, because it might not make sense for you to be the one that is staying off work.
I would certainly have a discussion. And one of the biggest things, I know you just touched on it there, like, it would be obvious that I would go to work I was quite fortunate when Millen was a kid that when I was with Millen's mum, she was off at the weekends. I was off a couple of days midweek. So that would kind of work out.
Yeah.
But it was assumed, you're right. It was assumed that...
I hate it. And that's as a employer of 99% female workforce is what it's been throughout our history as employers. It always really, really bugged me looking from the outside that it was just assumed that they would be the ones that would just take the time off. Like, not from me as an employer. Well, I guess a little bit part of as an employer, but also just like on a human level, how is that fair? Like, how are we still living in a world where it is just assumed that the women, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure some women want to be the ones to take the time off, and that's absolutely fine, but it shouldn't be assumed. You know, it shouldn't be assumed. It's the same as maternity leave. Did you know that you can share your maternity leave with your partner?
No, they don't tell them that because they don't want.
I think the government should advertise that so that it can sort of bridge that gap, and we can start getting rid of these sort of stereotypes. Yeah. Things could be a little bit more fair.
Definitely, especially when somebody's partner is off and the kid's sick, and all of a sudden they're like, "Could you come home?"
I know.
Oh God, nothing would annoy Rebecca more than that.
True.
But hey, that's another story for another day. So I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. I feel this one's been quite good. I feel my mood has turned around, darling.
Do you know what I feel?
Go on.
Freezing cold.
It's so cold. The temperature has dropped. I am one of the hottest people in the world.
This isn't on. Why is this not on?
Okay.
Holy heck, the heat has gone off. That's why it's so darn cold. Let's get the heck out of here. I think I've broken it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
Okay. So what was I going to buy this week?
A van. No, we're getting a new heater.
New heater instead. Okay. Thanks very much for joining us this week. Rebecca, do you want to get us out here?
If you enjoyed that, guys, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment below to notify us of what you would like us to talk about next. And be sure to subscribe so you're notified when we release our next episode.
And she did it one take this week, guys. Oh, wow. Oh, what's a... Yes, I did it. I did it right. I did it right. Excellent.
Tuning in alone Sunday, all the tea getting spilled. Nail text, talking game, keeping it real, y'all gon' feel. From the signs to the drama, every secret they reveal. Stay sharp, stay tuned, man, you know it's the deal. Tuning in, nail on Sunday, all the tea getting spilled. Nail text, talking game, keeping it real, y'all gon' feel. From designs to the drama, every secret they reveal. Stay sharp, stay tuned, man, you know it's the deal.